Greetings, it's Will from StormTheCastle.com, and you are watching the Cardboard Da Vinci YouTube channel. Thanks for tuning in, and I've got a nice little project here for you. If you're anything like me, you've got a whole bunch of arts and crafts supplies, paints and paintbrushes and pencils and markers and all kinds of things, and they're in boxes everywhere. It's kind of a mess. I'm going to show you how to make a one-box organizer to organize all that stuff. Really nice. And your typical rectangular box actually lends itself very nicely to making your organizer cleanly, easily, and strong. I ended up making two, so I used two boxes. One for paints and liquids, and this one here is for, pens, pencils, markers, erasers, and, paintbrushes and stuff like that. So let's launch into it. So let's take a look at some boxes. This one's these beautiful rectangular boxes, a size that's good for what I'm looking for. That one's 6 inches tall. This one's 8 inches tall. And this one's 10 inches tall. And I'm going to go with this 10-inch tall box because it just gives us a lot more extra cardboard to use for whatever we need in the project. But I'll show you, these boxes lend themselves very... Oh, and one more thing. You don't have to use the size box I have. You go with what you have for supplies and a box that would be appropriate. So I think the first thing you should do is actually gather together your materials that you want to put into an organizer so you get a sense of how you want to break them up. Like you want glues, you want paints, you want small paints, large paints. In this project, in this video, I'm doing 4 different ones. The various things like Mod Podge and Liquitex, linseed oil, stuff like that, and adhesives. That's all in one section. Adhesives in another section. Large paints in a section, and small paints in a 4th section. So there's 4 sections in this one that I'm going to make in this video. But like I said, I did do another one which I really like. It's got paintbrushes, colored pencils, colored markers, regular pencils, pens, and glues and glue sticks and erasers and pencil sharpeners. So organize it the way you want your stuff to be organized. And so this is what I end up with doing in this video is this 4 sections: large paints, small paints, adhesives, and various liquids like Mod Podge. So let's get started. There's our box. First thing you should do is cut off the 4 top flaps. And these flaps are actually perfect. They lend themselves to making this project very easy and very quick. You probably can do something like this in less than an hour. Because we're going to use those flaps almost as they are. So the 2 long flaps, apply glue to them, spray adhesive, white glue, hot glue gun is the quickest, and then glue them into the bottom of the box. So what happens is now the bottom of the box has 3 layers of cardboard, which makes it pretty strong and durable for if you're going to store heavy paints in this. That's one flap, and now let's put in the other flap. See, we didn't have to really do anything. Those flaps were made for the size of the box, and instead of being on the top, we've now put them on the bottom. Now let's move on to the side flaps, and watch this. This is a nice little technique you're going to like. Measure your side flap, bifurcate your side flap in half, and then cut it, but only cut through the top layer of paper so you can do this, fold it over. And that gives it extra strength. So only cut part way through, right down the middle of that flap, and glue it. It's a nice little technique for added strength. So now we use that height. Measure that height. Well, I'm going to make 2 of them here. I'll show you another one. I make 2. And these are the dividers that go inside the box. So now measure that height. and then use that height all the way around your box and draw a line about the same height. A little bit more is actually a little nicer, maybe a 1/4 inch more, and then cut it all away. And you're going to see how we magically end up with our organizer just like that. Oh, and that knife there, that's specifically a cardboard cutting knife by the company Canary. I love that knife. It's a Japanese cardboard cutting company. It's really nice. I love that Canary. I'll put a link in the description of this video if you want a Canary cutting knife, specifically for cardboard. See now those flaps? We almost have to do nothing to them too, because they're the perfect size to go inside the box. See, we're saving all kinds of time and energy here. But before we glue them in, put all your stuff in, whatever you're organizing, put it in so you know where to put your dividers. See, and for me it's 4 of them. Big paints, little paints, adhesives, and miscellaneous stuff like, baby oil, spray cans, Mod Podge, linseed oil, stuff like that. Perfect. It's beautiful. Mark where you want those dividers to go, and take all of that stuff back out of the box. Well worth a little bit of extra effort there, because it's going to make your life so much easier as you're crafting. Now just glue your dividers in. And here's another nice little cardboard tip for you. I'm going to show you here something if you're not already aware. Air in a can is really nice. If you hold it upside down, it comes out at freezing temperature. And you can quickly set that hot glue. So you don't have to stand there holding it and waiting for the glue to dry. I like that. I use that air in a can a lot for this. Just makes things much more convenient and easy. So there we go, our second divider, same thing, glue it in. Now for this, we've used up both our side flaps that have been doubled over. We need one more divider, or in your case, you may need more dividers, however you want. We still have plenty of cardboard left over from the top of that box, so go ahead and mimic what you've done so far. When you cut a piece of cardboard, and you double it over without cutting all the way through it, so it's nice and strong, and then glue it in place. And that's that. In 10 minutes, we've pretty much built our organizer. And you can have fun with this. It doesn't have to be all squares and straight lines. You could, make it any kind of design you want. You could even make it, I would say, a little taller, and then you could store your paintbrushes in it vertically, and your pencils. 4 inches is probably not tall enough, maybe 5 or 6 inches, and then you could have a section in the box with the paintbrushes and pencils and things like that are sticking up vertically, makes them easy to grab them. But that's that, look. I recommend you make some labels and put those on, and the box is finished. The labels are because, over time, you don't want to be confused as to what's what. You can keep everything organized. Oh, and that white box over there in the upper left-hand corner of this video is a jewelry box with music. I have a tutorial on that. Right behind those heavy paints, you can see some scissors there. That is a castle-shaped pencil holder. That's another project. On the upper right of the video, you see 2 jars of honey. I will be making mead. That is a tutorial coming up. And that's it. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? We've got our stuff organized nicely. So I made 2 boxes. I had a lot of fun. Didn't take long. And we used the characteristics and shape of the cardboard to make it very easy for us to do. One with all my brushes and hand implements, and one with all my various paints and liquids. Thank you. Oh, one more thing. If you like working with cardboard, you should visit my website at stormthecastle.com. I'll put a link to the cardboard project session because I have so much stuff on working with cardboard. I think cardboard is beautiful. It's amazing how flexible it is and how many things you can do with it. But here's some of the projects you make. A lot. And lots of tutorials and ideas on how to work with cardboard, not just make particular projects, but tools and implements and stuff like that. This is one of my favorites, The Dream in the Library. Cats peeking into the aquarium. Thanks for watching.